Hey everybody, I'm really excited. So for today, I'm sharing with you for the first time something that's been in my brain for quite a while and I don't even give it a second thought, and that is the 5 pillars of online book arbitrage. So what the heck does that mean? What it means is I'm going to share with you what you need to know and understand and what areas and what exactly you're going to be doing if you want to run a successful online book arbitrage business. Now, I realize when you first start selling on Amazon, you are kind of inundated with all kinds of information on selling on Amazon. And the challenge that you really have is you really don't know what tips that you're getting are really important or they don't really apply to you so much, and what tips and information you're getting that is just actually harmful and not going to help you in this business. So I'm going to help try to clear all that up for you in this high-level video, so you can understand better what's involved with selling on Amazon with the online book arbitrage business model. So if that's of interest to you, then stay tuned. So if you're new to this channel or to Master Book Flippers, welcome. My name is Victor. I am the founder of Master Book Flippers. I started selling full-time on Amazon in 2016, and I've migrated over into books starting in 2017. I really like the online book arbitrage business model. There's not a lot of people doing it. A lot of people don't really know about it. And a lot of people certainly aren't doing it correct from what I can tell. All right, so hopefully this will give you a better understanding of what's involved. Now, I've tried to use a whole bunch of tools out there and software to get this business model to work the way I think it should be run. And that's why I started Master Book Flippers in 2019 with the goal of really making this much easier, spending a lot less time, and more importantly, improving my results. And that's what I've done. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because this is video number 1 of 6 of a series where I'm going to go into a little bit more depth about each one of the pillars of online book arbitrage. Now, there's 3 significant pillars I'm going to point out to you right away that you do not need to worry about with online book arbitrage, but that they are very significant in other business models, and I want to mention it here quickly, not to confuse anybody. First is creating listings. You do not need to do that in online book arbitrage. However, that is a very important pillar in other online businesses with Amazon. The second is marketing. So this is where it's a huge relief to run an Amazon business and not have to worry about any marketing costs, and that is what you get with online book arbitrage. So no marketing costs, no PPC advertising or anything like that. And lastly is building a brand. That is not something we worry about in online book arbitrage. You will have your business name out there with Amazon, but that is in no way anything you need to worry about in terms of online book arbitrage. But if you're doing something like private label, not only do you need to build your brand, you absolutely need to protect your brand. So those are things we don't worry about in online book arbitrage. All right, let's jump in. So the very first thing, and the most important with online book arbitrage, is sourcing, okay? So you could make the argument that if you don't source and don't source properly, that it really doesn't matter what the other pillars are, because it's simply going to fall apart, right? So it starts with sourcing. So what do I mean by sourcing? When in terms of online book arbitrage, if you're going to take this business seriously at all and want to do well, you're going to need to use some software, right? The software is going to help you make good buying decisions and get books more quickly than if you were just to randomly try to go on Amazon and figure this out without any software at all. Very difficult, if not impossible. Now, what software should you be using? Well, we're not going to get into the details. I'm going to tell you that I think you should be using our software if you want better results and to be sourced books quicker, but we'll get into that later. In this video, we're just going to talk about the high level. So when it comes to sourcing, you're going to use your software. You're going to find a book to flip that's profitable that you can buy from Amazon or on another website like eBay and resell on Amazon with the FBA business model. So you're going to actually go in, you're going to make your purchase, you're going to put down your order number, you're going to put down maybe the condition you bought the book, a few other things, and then the seller, after you paid for it, they will ship it to you, whatever it might be, 7-10 days, you're going to get the book, or your prep center is going to get the book. So that is sort of sourcing in a high-level nutshell. All right. The second pillar, and you don't hear enough about this, it's inventory management. So what do I mean by inventory management? This means if you have any physical product in your business, which is what we have books, you want to control your inventory. You want to be in control of what's going on with your inventory. Now, let me be clear. This is not about looking at your inventory in Amazon. That is not an inventory control system that you want to rely upon in any way, shape, or form, okay? So you want a control system that, number one, you want to know, okay, I ordered my books. When am I getting them? What books did I order? What condition did I order? When did I order them? Do I actually get them? And when I do get them, are they in the condition in which I ordered them? Now, you could start your inventory control system, your inventory management system with a Post-it note, right? You can put down every book you listed, and that'll work for a little while, right? But that's not something you can rely upon. An inventory management system, if it's something you really want to grow into, and you want to be able to grow your business, you're going to need a solid inventory management system. Now, if you don't, and if you try to shortcut this area of the business, I can tell you, you are going to pay for it one way or the other. You're going to either pay for it in time or money, or perhaps in both. Okay? And I'm going to show you an example of that when we get to our our fifth pillar. All right, but in a nutshell, inventory management, you want to control everything, what's going on with your inventory, including, I don't believe I mentioned, you want to control what's my profit and ROI, what's my profit and ROI as I change my price. Okay, that's important. What's my break-even point? We've got a tool for that to figure out what you'll know all the inventory that you have, what's the break even. That's really important. You want to know what kind of books you have in stock, right? Do you have textbooks? Do you have mostly non-textbooks? How long has the inventory been sitting around? All those things you're going to want to know, right? So that's inventory management. And don't get scared of that, by the way, right? I built this system to make it easy, right? Really. So we'll get into that details in another video. All right, the third pillar is listing and shipping. All right, so listing and shipping. So our business model is sending Amazon inventory. Now, you can't just ship your inventory, your books to Amazon. You first have to kind of let them know that it's coming, which is called listing. Now, to be clear, I did bundle these two things together, and I'll tell you why. First, I do recommend that you use a prep center after. This is important. If you're in the US and you have the capability, I strongly recommend that you do this process yourself for a little while, the shipping, right? Actually getting the books, opening them up, and actually dropping them off at UPS yourself. And then as you get comfortable with that, so you can better understand what the prep centers go through, then you can send the books over to them with your prep center, okay? But the reason I listed these together is because in our business model, these two things happen one right after the other, and because we have a prep center, it is very, very seamless and not very timely at all. And the big difference of how we do it compared to others that I need to mention, because I bundled these together, is typically what a lot of folks do. Let's use what I'm going to call the local sourcing business model, where you're buying books. Yeah, you're selling books just like online book arbitrage, but you're going to your Goodwills and your thrift stores and you're buying the books. So here's what you would typically do in that business model. You would use an app. You would scan the book at the bookstore and it would say, okay, it's good to go. We're going to buy that book. And you'd purchase that book at the bookstore. And then when you get home, you'd have a whole pile of books. And you have a mountain of work ahead of you at that point, right? You've got to scan that book a second time, usually. This is how the business model works as I understand it, and I've done it myself, right? You're going to scan that book a second time and then price it, all right? And then you're going to ship the book. So what makes us a lot different is that we are only doing it once. So we look at the book, we buy the book, we price it, we're done. The listing and shipping part, it's very simple and it takes a few minutes. So what I mean by that is it doesn't matter if we're sending in 5 books or 500. The amount of time we have to spend is essentially the same. Because we have a prep center, but also because of the way that our system works, we use Amazon's bulk inventory loader. So we list all the books at once. All right, so it doesn't really, and we're not looking up every single book as we go in to list our books, right? We've already done that the moment that we bought the book. So it's very, very different, but I did put that together to let you know that it's almost an afterthought for me now. It wasn't always the case when I started out with this business, right? But listing and shipping, very, very simple using our system. All right, so that was the third. All right, the fourth is repricing. All right, so repricing simply means that once you have your book for sale on Amazon, that means raising or lowering your price automatically or manually. Actually, I shouldn't say automatically. You could just reprice it manually, or you can do kind of a hybrid of both, which is what we do. But repricing your inventory. Now, here's what you need to understand about repricing, which was not made clear to me when I first started. You should be repricing all your inventory all the time, okay? Now, I say that because I really think that is really going to make a tremendous difference in your business, right? This is not a rotisserie chicken where you set it and forget it, right? And the great thing about the way we do repricing and the great thing about using a repricer is it makes the whole thing a lot easier. And our system works with Amazon's bulk inventory, Amazon's bulk repricer. You can do that way. You can do it manually. You can go pay for a third-party repricer. Whatever you're going to do, you really do need to do repricing. All right, so that is the fourth. And the last element of online book arbitrage actually applies to all Amazon businesses, really, and that is what I'll say is Amazon account management. So what that means is you have to manage your account in Seller Central. When you start selling on Amazon, you'll have your Seller Central account. You'll go in there. That's where you'll see your sales essentially in real time. You'll be able to reprice your inventory if you wanted to on the fly. That's where you'll see all kinds of reports about your inventory. That's where Amazon will charge you the fees. All those good things. That's where they keep all the policies, right? All kinds of information on how to sell on Amazon. You can find tons of information in there. So that's something you're going to need to keep your eye on for a few different reasons. For number one, let me tell you, is they keep metrics on us, right? One important metric that you'll need to know about, and you're not going to think about this as the day you start selling, and I get that, is called an IPI score that they keep on each of us. Inventory Performance Index, I believe it is. So that's something you need to keep an eye on, because if you don't keep your eye on that, then suddenly your Amazon account management pillar becomes more important than sourcing when Amazon tells you that your score is too low and you can no longer send in inventory, right? Real bummer. So you do need to pay attention to your Amazon account. The other thing you need to understand about your Amazon account is there's money sitting there for you, either coming to you or being taken away from your business without your knowledge, and you need to know this, okay? So what I mean by that is, if you think that when you send you send your books to Amazon, that they are going to keep track of everything perfectly, and when a customer returns a book, they're going to put it back for sale for you in your inventory, and when they shift it between warehouses, that it's going to show up in your inventory, and you're going to be able to sell it. And if it gets lost, they're going to reimburse you automatically, right? If that's what you think, you are sadly mistaken. I hate to tell you, right? Let me just show you this quick example. This just happened in August 2020, and you can see it was over, a little over a week, and I got back over $300. Now that $300, or around $300, the dollar amount doesn't matter. But the point is that the reason I got that money back is because I initiated it. I said, hey, it looks to me like you're missing inventory. Go look at it. And sure enough, I was right and they were wrong, right? This happens more frequently than we would like to think. It seems like Amazon goes in spurts. There could be a few months where they don't do this, and then suddenly, for some reason, they do lose your inventory, or you do a return, right? You're supposed to get a book back from them, and it's never sent. It gets lost for whatever reason. So you want to keep on top of your Amazon account management part of your business. All right. So those are the 5 pillars of doing online book arbitrage. Which one do I think is the one you should be focused on outside of sourcing? The one I really believe that is the most important to the long-term success and making this business much simpler is really the inventory management piece of the business. Okay? And let me tell you why. So first of all, it is the only pillar that touches all the others in any significant way. Especially with our software with the sourcing, right? The thing that makes us really unique is that the sourcing piece and the inventory management piece are built into the same component, if you will. Okay, so that is a big piece. And the example I just gave you regarding the Amazon account management with me getting back almost $300. So if you were in my shoes or somebody else was in my shoes and they didn't have an inventory management system, here are your options. Number one, there is software out there that you can pay for that's going to help you recover lost funds, right? That's just another added expense. You can do that. So you're going to have to pay for that, right? And they work in different ways, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is, and that won't pick up everything, by the way. For example, the book that that they were supposed to send back to you never received, right? That's not going to work with using software, from what I can tell. But anyway, that's the first thing that got. The second thing, and probably the worst thing, is that you just don't know what happened, right? And you don't want to be in those shoes, right? You want to know what occurred. You want to have control. So that is the reason that I think it is the most important. It really makes, like I said, the sourcing, first of all, is so simple. I spend about maybe 10% of my time sourcing, if that. And when I say 10%, 10% of the 100%. So we do lots of sourcing every day, thousands of books, thousands of dollars worth of books every week, for which I do maybe 10% of that, right? I've got a team of people working for me that help out with that. Listing and shipping, it's almost seamless now. Repricing is much easier, and we keep on top of our account management with using our inventory management system. So that is like the central hub, really, of this business. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise, that sourcing is the end all be all, right? That is the start. It is very, very important. You don't have a business without it. But if you actually want to make this business easier and get better results, you're going to need to understand the other 4 pillars, and you're going to want to reference someone that actually does this business on a day in and day out basis. So don't forget to like and subscribe. This is series number 1 of 6. We will go over each one of these pillars in a little more depth. We also have a quick start guide for you. It's a free download. I'll put the link below. And we also have a free private Facebook group where we give away free book flips every week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.